we're focusing on your driver, and you've told us that the main issue is strike related, and more specifically, you're hitting topped shots. So really simply what this means is that the club head is too high at impact. So you're hitting the ball off the bottom of the club face. So very simply, the answer to solving this problem is that we have to get the club a little bit lower for impact. Now, there are a couple of reasons it could be too high, so this may be a case of experimenting with one or two things. The first would be simply to focus on getting the club to swing a little bit lower. So what we mean by this is, if everything in the swing seems neutral, but your club is too high, for some reason, whether you're standing up or you're bending your arms, you're lifting the club higher than it should be. So we need to get it lower. Very simply, this is intention. Your intention is to get the club lower through impact. So for example, have a second tee teed up just to the inside of your golf ball, and make sure the tee is not too high. With your practice swing, the idea would be that you have to get your club head to swing lower to make contact with it. If you go over the top of the tee and miss it, you would be hitting too high on the ball. So simply keep your focus on the tee and lower the club until you hit it away. Now, if you make contact with the tee cleanly, step forward and keep that same thought process, which is you're not trying to hit this golf ball, but you're trying to hit the tee that's underneath it. If you don't make contact with the tee, the club is too high. So if you can step forward, focusing on knocking that tee out of the ground and make a good strike and hit a good shot, that's simply the solution that you're looking for. Your focus from now on is to knock the tee out of the ground that's underneath the golf ball instead of focusing so much on the golf ball. Now, sometimes what happens is when you're trying to get this club head to go lower, you'll find that you make contact too far behind the ball. And when you make contact a long way behind the ball, that means the low point is too far back and the club has a long time to rise, which is going to send it up over the top of the ball. So what we need to do is not necessarily get the swing lower. What we need to do is get the low point of the swing from so far back a little bit closer to the ball. So when the low point of the swing is closer to the ball, the club has less time to move up, and that means you're going to find the middle of the face. So this would be more of an issue of making sure we get the low point to move to the left as opposed to staying to the right, which is too far back. So it's more of a lateral issue than a vertical issue. Same thing again though, which would be place a second tee just to the inside of yours and make sure you can clip it out of the ground. Your main focus to clip this tee out of the ground will be to move towards the target and get the low point of the swing further forward. If that feeling of moving to the left towards the target gets you to hit the tee, that's your main feeling for when you hit shots. You can make your own normal backswing, but make sure everything is focused on moving left as you come down. So we have a second tee to the inside of the golf ball and very slightly lower than the main one. We're going to focus on clipping that tee, either by getting the club head a little bit lower or by getting the low point of the swing further left. Let's make sure we can hit the tee out the ground, and if we can, repeat the same thought process with the ball.